Cody, did you watch Raw?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so Owens and Zayn come out. Zayn spoke about him and Owen defend the titles against Reigns and Sikoa, and he said they are better. Said they're as big of a threat as there is on paper. And Zayn said they get another shot at Reigns. And Zayn said Owen should have beaten Reigns for the title just as he should have, but Reigns cheated his way through his title reign. Zayn said Reigns has gone unchecked for too long, and now we're going to check you. And Zayn said Reigns is pushing the Usos too far and too hard. He says it's not enough for Reigns to hold 2 championships. Zayn called Reigns a psycho and said he may want the tag titles, but he can't have them. It's a pretty good promo, actually. Judgment Day comes out, and Owen said he was happy to see them because he was sick of talking about the bloodline. Owens assumed they wanted to fight and called for it to happen. And Zayn said it might be his fault for starting at 10. And Zayn said Judgment Day wasn't there to fight and suggested that they hear him out. Gentlemen and Dom, the floor is all yours, Zayn said. Dom got mad. Priest and Owens was spot on. They would love to fight, and Balor cut in front of Priest and said, "Tranquilo, we're here to talk." The Judgment Day members entered the ring, and Balor recalled Owens and Zayn saying last week they were done with the bloodline, and yet how are they right back where they started? Balor said if Owens and Zayn somehow get through Reigns and Sikoa, then line starts with Judgment Day for the teams that will be lined up to face him. And Ripley said they love Raw. A Miami chant broke out, and Zayn said he would love to hear what Dom has to say, which triggered loud boos. Bro, Dom, the crowd literally drowns out Dom the second he speaks a word now. It's hysterical. Right. It's great. Owen said he couldn't hear what Dom...
You're sure that's not piped in?
Piped in.
Yeah.
So Dom was saying Owen said he couldn't hear what Dom was saying and asked Zayn if he could just punch him in the face already. And Owens wound up, but then Ripley cut in front of him. And Priest stood up and hit a distracted Zayn, and then they put the boots of Owens and Zayn and then chased him off. And then Zayn returned and chased him off with the chair. But they got a little bit of heat on him here to end the segment. What did you think of this?
This was great for a lot of reasons. Hey, dude. Anyways, this was good for a lot of reasons. Number one, they weren't against the bloodline again. Judgment Day came out, and I like when and he was like, "Yeah, I'm tired of talking about the bloodline," and he wanted to fight anybody. I like that about him. That's his character. And I liked when Zayn told the people, "I can't hear anything Dom's saying. Can I just punch him in the face already?" Place pop. Right. But and it was good to see the Judgment Day against them. Something different. So I liked this opening segment.
So Nakamura against The Miz. Nakamura goes over 9 minutes. This was set up from last week with the Miz TV thing. Let me read you Powell's point of view from this, because I want to see what you think about this. This is Jason Powell, who friend of the show, and we read his review on ProWrestling.net. That's where we get our review show. I think it's the best review of all the reviews you can find on the internet, because it's pretty honest, and he's got good perspective. So I like this. Powell's POV says, "I'm bored by Miz's matches because the guy never wins. There's just no reason to take him as a threat to beat anyone who matters until they start to book him differently. The fans love to hate him, so he'll continue to get the desired heat from the live crowds, but the real fun is building up to a pest heel being put in their place, not seeing it happen on a near weekly basis." Would you agree with that about the way Miz has been booked?
100%.
Yeah, he 100%. Never wins.
Some of that I was going to say right now when we were going to go over the match, I was going to say some of that. Yeah.
Right. So... Well, to say so, I mean, but honestly, Miz does not need to be losing in 9 minutes if he's going to lose every week. I mean, you can do this in 2 to 3 minutes. But actually, the more entertaining stuff Miz does is the Miz TV stuff. He shouldn't even he should be doing more Miz TV and less wrestling if they're just going to beat him every single time. Would you agree with that?
100%, right.
Yeah.
Or be the manager for somebody that they're going to push.
Right.
And he can talk for them.
Right. So backstage,
like Pretty Deadly that just came in or somebody like that.
So backstage, Adam Pearce and Liv Morgan was not medically cleared to compete, and the women's match was postponed. So Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green were skeptical of the injury, and Deville suggested that Rodriguez and Morgan should be forced to forfeit the tag titles. Rodriguez said she'd be happy to defend Morgan's honor by facing Green, and Pearce booked the singles match. Then they showed Imperium backstage. That's a pretty impressive looking group.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't see this. Did not make it to Hulu. I'm very shocked. But a pre-taped Graves sit down with Seth Rollins aired. Right. I'm going to read because I didn't even see this.
It was in 2 parts too.
Okay, so footage here from his NXT days, including when he won the NXT Championship. They also touched his days with the Shield, including when he turned on Roman. And Rollins said people still ask why. He said they'd beaten everyone there was to beat, and if you want to reach ultimate success, you have to take chances. And Rollins asked what the future would have looked like had he not hit Reigns with that chair. And they concluded the first part of the interview with Graves asking Rollins about going after the World Heavyweight title. So this is a 2-parter, I guess, huh? That's fascinating.
Yeah, this was good because
they would subtract Seth Rollins from the Hulu thing. I find that very strange because he's like a pretty top guy on their show.
So Corey, this was very good, and not only that, they look good because Corey looks kind of like a star, you know, and Seth definitely looks like a star. So it visually looked good, and the content was good.
Right. Imperium made their entrance, and Gunther climbed onto the broadcast table. It's actually a pretty good visual.
What a great entrance, by the way.
It was introduced by Kaiser, and Gunther said perhaps an introduction was due. He said he dominated the competition on SmackDown by holding the Intercontinental Championship for nearly a year. He's been booked very well, mind you. He said no man has been identified as his next challenger or earned his respect. He said one man could achieve both by winning the Battle Royal for a shot at the championship. And basically they're at ringside. There's going to be a Battle Royal, and like everybody and their mother comes out. Apollo Crews and Matt Riddle were given televised entrances, okay? But here's the guy. Okay, some of these guys I've never even heard of before, okay? Baron Corbin, Zion Quinn, Von Wagner to Zion Quinn, Von Wagner to Zawa, JD McDonough, who had a pretty good vignette later on in the show, Dexter Lumis, Chad Gable, Otis, Angel Humberto, Dolph Ziggler, Eric Ivar, Paulo, Ricochet, Bronson Reed, Elias, Sheldon Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, Mustafa Ali, and Johnny Gargano, and Riddick Moss.
Riddick Moss.
Yeah, Moss, Madcap Moss.
Oh, they changed his name. That's right.
So Mason Mansois eliminated Dexter Lumis. Otis and Gable eliminated Massey, but Mansois hung on. McDonough eliminated Humberto, and Ziggler dumped McDonough. And then Wagner eliminated Ziggler, and then McDonough attacked Ziggler at ringside and slammed his head into the ring steps.
Let me ask you a question. Did you see this match?
Yeah, I did.
Did you pop, because you and me are big fans of Mansois and the other guy, when Lumis was staring at him and they left running, screaming?
Right.
That was
they did their gimmick pretty well.
Yeah.
So basically this came down to Reed, Ricochet, and Ali. Okay, I thought Bronson Reed was going to go over this, but Mustafa Ali.
Why?
Big upset. Because maybe the metrics. Well, what nationality is he, Joe?
I think he's Indian, bro.
Is there like they're going to Saudi, and I'm wondering if he's
going to Saudi,
right? I think so, because when I saw him in WrestleMania, he was dressed like Indian, like what wealthy people would kind of wear, like in India, and I may be
he's his dad's Pakistani and his mom is Indian from New Delhi. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, he had a really cool look too. Maybe
because he's ethnic, and we're going to that Middle East. They want a Middle East. I don't know.
Wrestler.
Right,
he's not a bad wrestler. He just, to me, right now, he doesn't come off as a star.
Well, he's not. He's not a credible challenger. Obviously, it's like there's no way you think this guy's going to win. But
right.
Yeah. So then Becky Lynch comes out. And
let me tell you, you could tell in this match that they're starting like a feud with the McDonough guy against Dolph.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the Alpha Academy and Viking Raiders. Yeah.
Right. And there was a vignette later on that we'll go into. Becky Lynch comes out. She said that when things became too overwhelming, you have to ask for help, and said she did that by turning to two legends, Lita and Trish. And Lynch said Lita was great and they won gold. And Lynch said she let Trish get close to her and her family. And Lynch said she was blinded and didn't see Trish as a snake in the grass and was out for herself. Despite all that, Lynch thanked Stratus, and Lynch explained that when Trish hit her, it turned on a light that had been out for many months. And Lynch recalled Stratus calling her daughter stupid, and they gave all the badness in her head a face, a name, and a target. Lynch said Stratus was Stratus wants to be number one in the business, and Lynch said she is that and doesn't need a title to prove it. And Lynch said she would show Trish how thankful she is when she kicks her head into the Night of Champions. This is not a bad promo. What'd you think of this? I mean, I don't really care that much about it, but it was a good promo.
Yeah, well, she's really good on promos, and she had given around 2 promos that weren't that good, but also she had to share mic time with 2 other girls, and so I thought this was excellent. The timing, the content was really good, and this is the first time her and Stratus are going to meet, so that's kind of like a dream match, if you will. Let's see how she wrestles, but Trish has not in any way convinced me that she's a heel. But This was a really good story that Lynch said, and good promo.
So they showed Rhea Ripley watching the promo, and the interview said, and Kathy Kelly asked her about Natalya showing up last week, and Natalya showed up and took issue with Ripley beating up a woman who had already been beaten, and Natalya said Ripley isn't giving respect to the other woman she's running through. Ripley said Natalya wanted to be in the ring with her so that people would care about Natalya again. actually a pretty good line.
That was a very good line.
Yeah, Ripley said if Natalia ever interrupted her again, she would end her career. Then Dominic showed up and told Mammy it was time to go. That's good. That was good verbiage for Rhea Ripley to direct towards her, because like that,
Right.
yeah.
Right, heel. I mean, that's what a heel would say. A cocky heel would say that.
They're making the best out of this angle with we know what's going to happen. So backstage, Mustafa Ali gloated about his battle royal and annoyed Gable, Otis, and Dupree. He said he used to be a loser like Otis until he started thinking more positively, and Ali strutted away and encountered Imperium. Then Gunther congratulated him on earning the right to travel halfway around the world to take a beating. I thought that was a good line. And Ali said Gunther has to go all the way there and back just to lose his Intercontinental title, and Ali told Gunther to be positive. Now, what I didn't see this might make it to Hulu, but it says a family that had their seats upgraded as part of a terrible movie franchise's promotion was shown. What is that?
I didn't see that.
All right. Do you know what I'm talking about there, Joe? Did you watch this?
No, I didn't see it, but I'll find out what movie they were working with.
All right. So Dominic and Rhea come out, and Dom had a mic and spoke on his way to the ring while the fans were just booing him out of the building. And he asked Woods if he was convinced that he would beat him just because it's a new day. And Woods said he didn't have anyone to watch his back right now, but he's a grown man who can stand on his own 2 feet and fight his own battles. So they have a match, and this is one of Dom's better televised matches that he's had. He's improving drastically. This is pretty good. What did you think of this? Dominic went over with some interference from Ripley. What did you think of this match?
Yeah, that was good. Good heel heat. Ripley hits the guy with a cheap shot. I had a feeling, and I don't know, I might just be making it up because when he goes, I don't have anyone watching my back. I have a feeling New Day's going to show up to get his back sooner or later. Right. And Dominic's already beat him twice, so he may just say, "All right, us 3 against you 3 or whatever." I don't know that for a fact. I like when Mysterio did the 3 Amigos, bro. That place was really booing. And he's just got great heat that you see very few times in the business. So I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. So I enjoyed this video package. So JD McDonough has a video package, and he said he wanted to believe that if you worked as hard as you could, trusted others, and showed respect, you get what you earn. He said the years ticked on, and he saw guys who couldn't lace his boots get opportunities. The McDonough said he realized that he was performing for an audience of fools, and then they turned the tone into like darker, kind of like a more sinister character. He said he is a disruptor, and he digs the graves, and the Irish Ace is here to say this was produced very well because it looked like it was coming off just a typical corny babyface promo, but it ended up as a good heel promo. I thought this was well served for him. Then they immediately go to him leaving the arena, and Kathy Kelly comes up and says, "Why did you attack Dolph Ziggler?" And he said he wanted to make a statement, and he said Ziggler will learn what the rest of the roster will learn soon, is not to underestimate him. Did you like this? I thought this was pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I agree with everything you said.
All right. So I missed this, but this did not make it to Hulu. The Indian guys, he had Veer and Sangha against 2 jobbers, and they beat him in a minute and a half. And after the match, Mahal took the mic to speak in Hindi, and the broadcast team was talking about Indus Sher when Mahal walked over and put on the headset. Mahal said they run Raw, and he grabbed the house mic and said, Indus Sher runs Raw. Is that the name of the group? Is Indus Sher? I'm reading that. INDUSSHER. Indus Sher.
Indus Sher.
Whatever that means. Look at this and see what that means, show in Hindi.
Sure.
So backstage, what did you think? Did you see this, Conan?
Very well done, very well produced, and makes him look credible.
Right.
So Owens is Indian Tigers.
Indian Tigers. Interesting.
Indian Tigers.
So Kevin Owens and Zayn were approached by Imperium, and Gunther said he wouldn't accept the disrespect they showed his men. Owens said they could find a partner, have a 6-man tag match next week, and Gunther accepted the challenge. That was pretty good. So they get all these groups that are over are all going to be. This is actually interesting booking because you got a bunch of factions here that shouldn't be losing, and they're all going to be fighting each other. We're going to see who goes over. Would you agree with that? There's a little bit of
but we'll see.
There.
They've done a good job of taking care of who they need to take care of, so I'm sure they'll figure it out.
So Cody comes out in a suit again. Cody should change it up every once in a while. Like comes out in a suit all the time.
The other time he came out with a hoodie.
Well, he came to fight, but I'm saying, he always has a suit. Maybe he should come out like nice, like a short sleeve polo shirt, slacks. I don't know. It's just like he's always got the suit on. So, Cody told the story of the scorpion and the frog. He said the scorpion stung the frog because its nature, just as Lesser's nature, is to hunt. How's your face, Cody asked, and Rose said Lesser looks in the mirror and sees the alpha male of our species. Cody said when he looks in the mirror, he sees the man who busted up Lester's face. said Lesnar's been on top of the WWE for all these years because he's better than 99% of the superstars who enter the ring, but at Backlash, Brock Lesnar was not better than me. He took issue with Lesnar calling his win cheap and pointed out that it was a wrestling move that countered another wrestling move, and Cody assumed their feud is about who is the next big thing on Raw. The crowd chanted his name, and Cody said Lesnar was always labeled the next big thing, and he said they were always right. Cody asked what happens when they simply say next, and Cody said Lesnar has conquered WWE in the sport, but needs to step aside because he's no longer the big thing. He's simply in Cody's way. This is a good promo. What'd you think of this?
Yeah, there's very good promo, and it wasn't long like his other ones.
Right.
Short and sweet. He's got the fans in his hands, bro. They love him.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Zoe Stark talking to Nikki Cross backstage. She was playing with her hair, not paying attention to her. And Candice LeRae showed up and defended Cross. They set up a match for next week. Very exciting.
She's got a really odd look. Is she from? Where is she from?
Who, Zoe Stark or Nikki Cross?
Isn't she from Las Vegas?
Which one?
Yeah, Zoe Stark. I think that's the one that was in FSW.
Yeah, she's got a strange look. Well, she's from Salt Lake City.
Well, which one are we talking about, Conan? That has a weird look?
Yeah, the one that was like talking to
Zoe Stark?
Nikki Cross.
Zoe Stark.
She
okay.
Says she's from Salt Lake City, but she was in FSW as the women's champion.
So
she looks like, you know what I thought she was when I first saw her? Like an Aborigine.
She used to wrestle under the name Serrano, if that sounds familiar to you.
Yeah, no.
So Rodriguez wrestles Chelsea Green and beats her in 3 minutes with the Tejana bomb. So afterwards she goes to the stage and she's holding up the title, and out of nowhere Ronda Rousey and kicked her, and Shayna Baszler showed up, and they basically beat her up, and Rousey grabbed Rodriguez and held her while Baszler blasted her with a knee to the face. And yeah, they get good heat on that. I like that because like Raquel Rodriguez is a tough girl, but now she's got two like shooters attacking her, which to me I think is good booking. What do you think of this?
Right. Well, to me the highlight of this is whatever Chelsea Green was wearing. That was very nice.
Yeah, that's kind of perverted.
Perverted or not, she looked nice and classy and just looked like a star.
Right. So next we go the second part of the backstage. The Imperial is backstage, and Paul Heyman reached his hand into the picture and shook hands with Gunther. And once they walked away, Heyman told his phone to call Roman Reigns. The second part of Graves' sit-down interview with Rollins was shown, and Graves brought up the iterations of Rollins that we've seen since he left the Shield, and Graves asked why the current iteration of Rollins is the best. Rollins called himself a visionary and said he's off the rails, and Rollins said it's the most authentic version of his true self, and said for the first time in his career he's not forcing the change, but rather the fans are forcing the change in him. Graves asked why the time is right for a new championship, but why Rollins is the guy to hold it, and Rollins said he hates to say it, but we need a change again. Rollins said he doesn't feel that those at the top want to take any risks, and he said champions are more about protecting themselves and taking the industry forward, and Rollins said now is the perfect time for a new world heavyweight champion. Obviously he's in line for Reigns here. Graves asked Rollins about Roman and his championship reign and said he knew that Graves was going to get there, and Rollins removed his shades and took a deep breath, and then the video concluded. Graves said there's another part that's going to air next week, and Rollins would ruffle a lot of feathers.
Bro, this was well produced. There wasn't another in-ring promo where people are singing, oh, it was just him, in a relaxed setting, and, he handled it well. I like, when they kept showing him hitting Roman Reigns with the chair, and he goes, if I would have stayed in the Shield, I would have never grown, or whatever it was that he said. So he said, I had to do that to grow, which I thought was a good line. And then he also said that how did he put it? He said he doesn't think that anybody at the top wants to take any risk with the titles they're holding. They're more concerned about protecting themselves than pushing the industry forward, which is another good line, which you see that a lot in boxing.
Right. So next was they got Apollo Crews video aired. He's coming back, but he's not the Nigerian prince anymore. And basically said no one should say his name without putting some respect on it. And he said he earned his way back. So whatever. Next they have the tag team match with Owens and Zayn against Priest and Finn. What'd you call it? Paul Heyman walked on the stage and spoke on his phone. Basically, he's talking to Roman the whole time. It's pretty funny. Priest spotted him and smiled. Zayn got the better of Balor and put him down with a Michinoku driver for near fall. And Heyman was on. Paul was actually very entertaining this because he kept like everything he was going on the ring. He was like he's trying to. You just get the visual, right? It's good acting. Zayn had the pin, but the Imperium trio distracted the ref, and Owens went after them with chokeslam in the apron by Priest. Then Zayn took out Priest with a flip dive, and Zayn returned to the ring and set up for his finisher, and Gunther grabbed Zayn's leg while his minions distracted the ref. And Beller hit a shotgun dropkick and followed up with the coup de grace before pinning him. And afterwards, Heyman flashed a sinister smile after the heels won the match, and he continued to talk on his phone while Judgment Day celebrated. What'd you think of this?
I thought this was great because, obviously he made a deal with this guy Gunther, right. And now, if you think about it, Sami Zayn have something with the Judgment Day, they have something with the Bloodline, and now they have something with Imperium.
Yeah, Paul Heyman basically got his fingers in everything and started the trouble with everybody, which is actually a good idea. So this was good. I thought for booking wise, it creates some compelling stuff for the next few weeks, I think.
Yes, very well done. Good show. Just like I thought SmackDown was good.